Hello and welcome to a new episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business. With me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and usually my co-host and fellow business consultant, Joris Minnesvand. However, he's not here today for this recording, so it's only me. And if you're a regular listener, of course, you know that Saturdays we recap the week. And we do this to help you, first of all, to give you insights, our biggest insights from the past 5 days, and also let you hear what we talked about during the week so you can decide if any of the topics is interesting for you. You can go back and listen to it if you missed it. So, with this out of the way, let's get reviewing what happened this week. And this week was a little bit special because we changed our format a little bit and we decided to have every episode to have rotate the episode, the theme for the episode. Instead of having rotating weeks, we have rotating themes for the episodes. And ultimately, what we used to do before this week was that one week was dedicated to the people aspect of building a business. The next week was dedicated to the processes aspect. And then the third week was dedicated to technology. And now instead of having these weekly themes, we made it daily. And of course, we started with people. And Monday was the first episode where we talked about a certain type of leadership approach. So when it comes to people, how you lead is really important. Like you are the first person in the business. You started this business. It's your baby. So how you show up, what you do really matters. And Monday, we reviewed two possible ways for you to show up as a leader. One is using consulting approach, where you ultimately tell your people what to do. And the other one is more of a coaching approach where you ask questions, approach situations with curiosity, and allow your people to find their own answers. And the biggest takeaway for me from that conversation on Monday is that it's not consulting versus coaching approach. It's one and the other. And it's all about you as the leader knowing when to use each. And if you listen to the episode, you know Joris gave a great example of when consulting might be the path for you, the option for you. And this was ultimately, if you think about urgency, if this is an urgent situation where you need something done for yesterday, then you don't really have the time to coach someone on how to do things. You need to go and be, this is how it's done, go do it. So this was the conversation on Monday. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about it and listening to what both Joris and I had to share, go back to that episode. It was Monday, which would have been June 23rd. So you can go and check this one. And then Tuesday, the episode on processes was dedicated to sharing a little bit of behind the scenes for our Thrive 360 business solutions and specifically the Business Clarity Accelerator. And when it comes to building a business, like there are foundations that any business needs, and there are 6 systems. And these 6 systems are so important. Like it's leadership is one of those 6 systems, finances, marketing and sales, delivery, and team management. So ultimately, these 6 systems are core for any business, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's service. And as we work with our clients and do the Thrive 360 Business Clarity Accelerator, these are the 6 systems we review. We review and see what's happening. Are they working for you? Do you have the foundations and where you are and help you update them, refine them, or even create some of these systems so you can have a successful business, a business that is profitable and thrives not just for the short term, but for the long term. So if you missed that episode, go ahead and listen to it. I highly recommend it, giving you a little bit of insight into how we work, what we do, and why this might actually be the next step for you. And Wednesday, which would have been June 25th, we moved to technology. And for this episode particularly, we talked about email marketing services. And the thing is that as your business grows, sending emails from your personal email, whether it's Gmail or another provider, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And uh, as always, technology is last. Like technology comes after people and processes, and you need to have the processes. You need to have the idea behind it to know why you're doing what you're doing. And there are a lot of tools out there. We personally use a tool called Freedom Kit that actually combines everything we need for our business. Like it's a CRM, it has email services, and it operates like it's based on Go High Level. Some other tools we mentioned were Mailchimp, Freedom Kit, not Freedom Kit, sorry. Hmm. Now I'm running blank. They rebranded as Kit, but I forgot what their previous name was. So anyway, Kit is one. Active Campaign is another widely used, although like I found this one a little bit more expensive for some once your email list starts growing. And as usual for this conversation, again, if you think about like biggest takeaway in terms of email marketing services, I would say for me the biggest takeaway is 100% that no matter what kind of business you are, you need this kind of tool. You need this. You need email marketing. Even I mentioned it when we had the conversation with Joris. Even like, let's say you're a plumber, and you'll be thinking, "Oh, why would I need an email list?" Well, an email list allows you to provide value and stay on top of mind. It allows you to send an email every quarter, for example, as the seasons change. Like here in Canada, like we do have something that looks like spring. We have summer, we have fall, we have winter. So as seasons change, you can send tips and the information on how to maintain things within the house. And this way, when something happens, you're the first person they think of. So in any business, having an email list, having that email marketing service where you can communicate with your prospects, with your clients in a timely manner and provide value, stay top of mind. It's still important, it's still valuable, and I would say it's even more valuable than building social media presence and following. And point in case, a few days ago, I saw that something happened where some kind of bots started closing legitimate Facebook groups and Facebook pages and closing them and completely removing them. So social media, you know this probably, and hopefully you know this, it's building on someone else's land. And email lists, this is something that is your own land, your own space. Yes, email deliverability, of course, matters, and you need to build that trust. But when you get people to opt in and to say, yes, I want to hear from you, this is within your power to email them as often as they want and you want to email them. So if you missed that episode from June 25th, go ahead and listen to it. And again, if there are any questions or anything, leave it in the comments, contact us. We'll share even more details. If you want us to go a little bit deeper and review some of these systems, we can do this as well. And the last episode we had this week, and you might be like, what? You were just talking about Wednesday. How come the last episode? Well, we didn't have anything on Friday. And we were supposed to have conversation on Friday. We didn't. And the topic on Friday will actually be released on Monday. So stay tuned. But before we go there, uh, Thursday, we went back to people. And what we discussed was, again, another timely conversation, in my opinion. And if you missed it, go there and listen to it. So it would have been June 26th when it was released. And we talked about the importance of skill and knowledge in the age of AI. And one of the reasons we talked about it was because recently MIT released a study where they were monitoring with an EEG, they were monitoring brain waves and what happened when students were writing essays using ChatGPT entirely. And ultimately, again, you might have seen these titles that AI is making us dumber. And in previous episodes, we've mentioned the importance of mindset, the importance of attitude when it comes to the people you have in your team, because ultimately their mindset, their attitude is what, and their values, this is what creates your culture, defines your culture. But it's important as a reminder that skills and knowledge still matter, even in the age of AI. Like right now, you might be thinking, "Oh, I don't need a salesperson or a marketing person. I just go to ChatGPT and do things." Yes, of course. Right now, with those LLMs, we can do things even better than before. Like before, we had to Google, we had to read things and find out how do I do marketing, how do I do sales, email promotions, things like this. Now you go to ChatGPT, ask it, and you have things in a matter of a few minutes ready for you to use. However, ready for you to use is not the right term. And we discussed this again on Thursday. The formula, and yes, it can be a little bit of a different formula, but the formula for using all these so-called AI tools is ultimately 20, 60, 20. And what it means is that 20% is the first part where you have a competent person, someone with the knowledge and the skills, someone who understands, let's say, marketing frameworks or sales frameworks or course creation and learning concepts to get there. No, and someone who also knows how to use the tool to get there and give the right prompt, use the tool in the right way. Then the two does the heavy lifting. Like the two creates things or provides a draft, whatever it is. And then the next 20% is again the human being, the person with the skills and the knowledge who looks at what was produced and makes sure that it makes sense, that it aligns with your brand and voice, whatever it is, and then uses it in whatever way it needs to be used. So, biggest takeaway from Thursday and in general is that we still need to have people with skill and knowledge. We still need to have people who, in addition to having the right values, the right attitude and mindset, they also know their stuff. So even when ChatGPT is down, which happened, I think, a couple of weeks ago, they can still do their work. They can still go there and produce whatever they need to produce, even when the tool is not there to help them do it in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours. Because the tool is only a tool and it should be a way to amplify. It shouldn't be the thing that everyone depends on. And like if it's down, then, oh, I have no idea how to do this. Like I've always used ChatGPT to do it. No. So another wonderful episode, if I say so myself. Go listen to it if you missed it. It was June 26th, this Thursday. And let us know. I'm actually curious as you're listening uh, to these episodes, which one did resonated the most with you this week? And of course, we've mentioned it before. If there is a topic that you are really interested in, whether it's something related to starting a business or you already have an established business and you have hit some kind of a ceiling and you need help, let us know and we'll discuss this topic. And you see that we cover people, processes, and technology. So whether it's something with people, something with process, something with technology, share it in the comments, contact us, and we will add this to one of our future episodes. So this is it for today. A recap of the past week. And tomorrow I'll be back sharing what's ahead for the new weeks. Stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, subscribe so you don't miss an episode. That's it. Have a wonderful day.